I'm Joanne Roberts, and today I'm joined by Manitoba's Minister of Families, Nahanni Fontaine. Minister Fontaine, thank you so much for joining me today. It is such a privilege to be able to reflect on this past year, just over a year since your cabinet has been sworn in. So it's, really a privilege to witness.
Thanks for having me, and welcome to my office.
Oh, thank you. It's so Christmassy. I love it. Everyone's office has been like on point so far from what I've seen. Yeah, amazing. Now the landfill search is underway. What was your reaction the very first day where, finally ground was broken?
We're at phase 4 of the landfill search. That almost didn't happen, right? If the former PC government had gotten their way, that historic meeting or that historic moment just last week might have never happened. And so for me, what I go back to is a couple of things. Is, for everything that is said about every derogatory, negative thing that is said about Indigenous women, girls, or two-spirited. And yet in that, those women that are in a landfill helped to change government, helped a province to come together and reject a divisive, hateful, anti-Indigenous government. That's how powerful Indigenous women are, that even in their death, Indigenous women make transformative change. And so for me, that's where I kind of always go. But I also want to say something else. Our Premier has been really committed and dedicated to this process. We met when we were still in opposition, almost 2 years ago. We met with the families in his office, the official leader's office, and we had a pipe ceremony. And then, the election happened. We announced that we were going to do the landfill. We had another pipe ceremony at the landfill. He's done another one at the start of the search. I can't think of another example of a premier or a government doing that type of work. And that's why, again, it's so important who people elect to represent them and to do good on behalf of all Manitobans. And so I'm really proud to be part of a team that, is really doing sacred, restorative, reconciliatory work on behalf of all Manitobans.
I know that Manitobans every day struggle. We've all got our own struggles, and I know that you are not exempt to criticism coming from all corners, opposition from everyday Manitobans. I remember there was a time during a trip to New York, I believe, in March last year, where there were many critics saying, "Where is Minister Fontaine?" As there was unfortunately a teen that was killed while in CFS custody in Carmen. So a lot of people were saying, why isn't she available to speak to the public? I have also seen many critics in terms of how you interact with people, whether that's in person or how you post on social media and interact with the world that way. What would you say to critics that seem to, I would say, judging you harshly and perhaps more harshly than your colleagues?
So let me say this about New York. People may not know this. So my first degree is environmental studies and international development. And my second is in Native studies, women's studies, and critical theory. I graduated in '97 with my first degree. And that was the first year I had the opportunity to go to the UN. At the time, I was working as an environmental researcher from my First Nation of Saugeen and Anishinaabe First Nation. And I was sent to Le Palais des Nations in Geneva for years and years in a variety of different roles. I did that long before I was a minister, and I will continue to do that work long after I'm a minister. It is important and critical work that leadership, including, members of a cabinet, are at that international level to ensure that our issues and our voices are heard. There is a fundamental role to be played at the UN level. And here's the other piece about me, is that, I'm the minister for Manitoba, but none of us are liberated until all of us are liberated. In a country, in a land in which we are not safe, and we are actively preyed upon, and we are actively, fighting against an ongoing genocide, nobody's going to tell me how I'm going to live my life, ever. I have survived too much in my childhood to now in this position, have predominantly men tell me how they think I need to behave in this role. That's never going to happen.
Given that it's a new year, it's a new start for many people, what are you hoping for the next year?
I think for the new year, my hope is that we move further along for jurisdiction. And honestly, we are working on so many amazing things under Minuawaki-Quayak that I can't wait. We're doing such good work. Like, honestly, and I say this all the time, I feel like I sound like a broken record. I have the best team in government. And the things that our team are working on are so exciting, so transformative, so engaging, and also see women, see little girls, see the LGBTQ2I community. The thing that I love most about this role is being in a position where you can acknowledge people that are more often than not made invisible or voices are not heard. I love being in this position to lift people up, and I can't wait to continue to do that this year.
Thank you so much. Have the best holiday for you and your relatives. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
I'm Joanne Roberts, reporting for City News.